Yo, what's good, young investors, and welcome back to the channel. Managing money is too often overlooked when it comes to finances. It always seems to be the get money mentality that's talked about, but never the key. And I'm sure you guys have heard the saying before. It's not about how much money you earn, but rather what you do with it. And this definitely rings true in my opinion. We absolutely need to learn how to manage money, especially while we're young. Bad money management is the reason most people will get to a good spot financially and still go broke. The sooner we start to learn and educate ourselves, the better off we'll be. We gotta build our foundations as young as possible. If we can't manage $100 or $1,000, what makes you think we can manage 100,000 when it eventually comes? More money equals different types of problems. Remember that. But before we hop into today's video, I wanted to quickly hit you guys with today's gem of the day. And of course, today's gem of the day is work smart on top of working hard. I want you guys to find what makes you different and stick to that lane. It's a lot harder to be a small fish in a big pond than it is to be a big fish in a little pond. I want you guys to separate from the crowd. Find your niche and stay consistent with it. And that's today's gem of the day. I hope you guys enjoyed that. And lastly, I'd really appreciate it if you guys could leave a quick thumbs up on today's video. It not only lets me know that you guys are enjoying the content, it also helps the channel grow like crazy. So of course, thank you. I appreciate all of you. And without further ado, let's get into the information in today's video. So the first thing that we gotta do to manage money is to keep track of our expenses and have a budget. The way I see it, you gotta be running a tight ship when it comes to finances. A small leak can start to sink the ship over time. And these leaks come in the form of things like unknown expenses. I'm talking about subscriptions that you didn't even know you had and things of that sort. I remember being charged monthly for services that I didn't even remember being signed up to. I want you guys to consistently keep track of how much money you have at your disposal, what you're using it for, and how much you spend. This way your spending doesn't outweigh your income and capital, and you always have money in your pockets. For example, I know what subscriptions I have, how much money I have in the bank, and in cash as well. And I also always know how much I need to pay for my credit bill at the end of the month. Not only does keeping track of our expenses help build a great habit, it also keeps us in check to make sure we don't spend more money than we can actually afford to lose. And we also always find out when somebody's trying to play us out of our money. I personally check my account transactions and balances constantly. And as for a budget, let's be honest here. A lot of people will get the check and spend it real quick. That's not the way though. Are you trying to front like you got it, or do you really want to have it? Set yourself a budget and don't go over that limit. You can get those sneakers or that hoodie. That's all good. Just make sure that you're not going over your budget. Your budget's gonna keep you and your spending habits in check. And it's gonna help you to always have money in your pockets as well. Your budget should be relative to your financial situation. You can set your own bar. Just make sure you have money on the side every time. I used to work at Rayleigh's, a grocery store, and my check would be somewhere around $350 to $400 a week. What I would do was take about 70% of the check and put it to the side, and the rest I'd have to myself to spend on things like food, clothes, and that sort of thing. Your budget could be higher or lower than what I did. Like I mentioned earlier, it's up to you. So the second thing the wealthy do is they have cash cushions. This is a major one. We always need to have that last resort type of money, something that will only be touched when absolutely needed. There's a saying out there that I really like, and it goes like this: save your money because one day it might save you. You guys gotta start to have a cash cushion, something to fall back on when things get tough. In my opinion, it's mandatory. Save as much as you can afford to save. I have this personal rule where I need to save at least 10% of whatever I make. And a lot of the time it's more than that. I actually learned this principle from a book called The Richest Man in Babylon, one of my all-time favorites. Every time you guys get some money, I want you to at least put 10% of it away. If you can afford to do more, even better. This money's gonna be in the background, quietly getting bigger and bigger, ready to go for whatever if need be. I want you guys to really tune in to what's been going on. Lack of financial literacy is being shown now more than ever. Stimulus checks were being distributed due to Americans having a shortage of cash. And the unemployment rate is crazy high. It's these types of situations where something like a cash cushion would kick in and save you. Having bread on the side ready to go for whatever is crucial, and not just for emergencies either. I mean, not that long ago, my car's lights and blinkers stopped working. I could afford to fix it, and I also had my cash reserves on the side ready for whatever. But let's say I didn't have much money because I spent the check. I would have had to ask somebody for money, and if I'm being honest with you guys, I'm not that type of guy. And so next up, start to learn how to identify a need and a want, and live below your means. We need things like toothpaste and shampoo. We don't really need tons of sneakers or expensive clothing, especially not now, being on the journey to financial freedom. These are some of the sacrifices that need to be made in order to get to where we need to be. Now don't get me wrong, we all deserve to splurge on something nice for ourselves every once in a while, which is all good. Just make sure you can afford it though. That way you'll know that it won't make a dent in your pockets. Sacrifice a little now and only purchase needs so that you can buy any want in the future. And as for living below your means, invest. It's a quite simple but yet overlooked rule. Don't spend more than you make. A lot of people want to get to the end without putting in any work, so they get into debt. They finance a new car and purchase expensive clothing with credit cards. Once you get yourself into that rotation, it's very hard to get out. Know what your financial limits are and don't test them. This is the golden rule in my opinion. I buy what I need and invest the rest. This is why my investing account will more than likely hit over $15,000 before the end of the year. And keep in mind, you guys, I'm only 18. Every single wealthy person that I've ever met don't just make $1 million and spend $1 million. They make that mill, spend it on what they need, splurge every once in a while, and invest the rest. They keep their money working for them at all times. They don't spend it all. This is how you really get rich and stay rich. I'm always telling you guys, wealth leaves clues. The richest people in the world don't spend their money as fast as it comes. They keep it working. They keep it invested. And I wanted to end the video off with that. I hope you guys enjoyed it and found something useful in it. Thank you guys for tuning in to the end. Of course, don't forget to leave a quick like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I upload a new video every 3 days. So of course, thank you guys. I appreciate you. Beat the odds and do the numbers. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.